Hello, everyone, and welcome, a warm welcome to our special audience for this evening, and that is our educators from Chennai and Goa. This is Simran Balani, Chief Operating Officer with CCE Finland. So I wanted to welcome the guest from these two cities for which we are doing this webinar. And I'm sure the weather is getting a little warmer there, but we are in happy places and the beach is close by, so not a dull moment in these cities. A warm welcome once again to all our participants, all our members joining from different countries. I already see in like a span of 5 minutes, we have participants from 10 different countries joining us. And thank you very much for your registrations, for joining. And once again, we, team of passionate educators, are here today to talk about what is the secret behind the Finland education, what is the secret behind Finland happiness, and how can you implement this secret? And once we reveal that, it doesn't remain a secret anymore, it becomes more of a sharing. So thank you once again. And if you're just joining us, you've not missed a lot. This is Simran. I'm joining you from Bangalore, India. And this webinar is especially for our educators in Chennai, in Goa. I see a lot of audience members from Mumbai. So one of the things, reason we wanted to do this is we are visiting us June and July, and they are in your cities, and we wanted to make the best of this opportunity to come and visit your schools. And before that, it was a good idea to catch up online. So on this note, I warmly welcome once again to all the participants who have joined from India, to our CCE Finland members. You're welcome to learn once again, to discover once again with us what are the secrets of Finland education and how do we do it in Indian context. Now, that is the main important thing. I meet so many educators and they say, well, this works very well in Finland. And I go, you know what? It does work in India. It does work in Thailand. It does work in Nigeria. So it is about how much passion we educators have and how do we uncover these secrets of bringing in this Finnish education system, the student agency, the parent teacher cooperation, right at the center of our schools that are thriving today in India. So on this note, I welcome my team, CCE Finland, Ms. Nandini, who is at the backdrop of making sure everything is working well, Mr. Kalyan, who is our social media manager and making sure the message gets to you right there. And then I have two speakers with me, my colleagues, Joachim, who is the educational growth manager, and he's weaving there. And then we have Nelly, who is our pedagogical director, and is going to talk about her first-hand experience in India. So without any further delay, we will get started. Once again, I thank all of you to be here and on time, and all the participants who are joining us from different countries other than India. We really, really are thankful. Thank you for being with us on so many webinars and having this journey, with us on how do we make the best of the education, how do we bring the best of learning for our students. So on this note, I will move us a glimpse into what does CCE Finland do, why we are so passionate about what we bring to the table, and how it can work in your context. So Joachim, over to you. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible and
Yes.
visible to
Yes.
everyone. I think audible is the most important here. But greetings, sunny greetings from Helsinki, which is not always cannot be taken for granted, but we are experiencing quite a beautiful weather here, and feels like we skipped spring completely. We are known to be a country of four seasons, and we had exceptionally harsh winter this year. We still had snow at the end of April, but we skipped spring and jumped directly into the summer. So everybody in Helsinki have been really, really excited about that. So it is a country of many opposites and extremes of weather and natural phenomena. But I am here today representing the Council for Creative Education Finland, and we, regardless of where we come from, and it's always so exciting to see so many new faces and where they're coming from, because there's always one common factor outside of cultural differences, also the time differences and everything, is that the passion for education. And that was brought us here today. And there's, of course, that interest to Finnish education as well. So I hope to be able to explain a little bit further about that, as I've also been experienced the Finnish education firsthand with Nelly, also another colleague. But indeed, my role here in the CCE Finland is an education growth manager, and how I often see that role, most importantly, is to take care of our existing community members, who consist of experts in business, in education, in research, and of course parents as well on top of schools. They are an important stakeholder for all of us. And I'll show you in a little moment of what do we actually do. But most importantly, also to look outside and look for the future of how can we extend this network in order to keep doing and innovating towards creativity. But that's enough of me. Let's focus on what CCE Finland is all about. Let me see. I hope my screen is visible to everybody as well. Perfect, perfect. So welcome to CCE Finland. We are based in Finland, in Tampere, which is the third biggest city in Finland. And it is surprising, it is quite a small city, but it is a very active, it is a very hardworking city as well, from the kind of the reputation of it. And so I feel that CCE Finland and our network fit there quite well. Even though we work from there, we cover all around the world. We have, on top of India, which is one of our primary markets, on a weekly basis, we get a chance to share ideas and in innovations with people from Middle Eastern region, from North America, from Southeast Asia, Australia, and African countries. So it is a very exciting time to be in education in many ways. And so what CCE Finland is all about. So we are an organization thriving for creating innovation in education. And as from the name, you could already make a guess that we we highly appreciate Finnish education and Finnish education policies. And this is also our expertise, based in Finland, being located in Finland, having experts in Finland as well. So we have the expertise in the Finnish education policies. But then we also have this network of professional educators and researchers all around the world, which allows us to localize the best practices of the Finnish education policies and creating these collaborations, as you can see from this picture. So what do we actually do? We do a lot of different things, which I will also show in a moment in more detail, but it both services and products together with our collaborators and network. Everything from 6 to 8 week trainings online and on site about early childhood education, about online training, well-being, AI, and higher education as well. Then we look at school concepts. Let's say somebody in India would be passionate about creating or developing a school, their school system. They look at Finland as this country with a lot of innovative ideas in education policy, but they don't really know how to implement those. So they look for us as a partner, as a consultant to support them in that journey, because we have the connections for both countries and both policies. And we develop those services in both school development programs in lighter and in more depth versions and accreditation versions, which we'll look in just a moment. We, of course, we want to bring the professionals together as well. So once a year, we celebrate educators worldwide and education in general by bringing them together online and physical in our annual symposiums, where this year we were talking about well-being, and next year, we will be focusing on leadership.
Yeah. Claro.
Sorry? Okay. But on top of that, as part of this service, we also bring educators to Finland to experience Finland, because it would be difficult to we can always show videos, we can show pictures, we can tell you what it's all about, but it is difficult to really get until you experience it here in Finland. But more about that in just a moment. And of course, everything that we do is based in research and innovation. So both in physical projects and products. And then, of course, we cannot do this alone. So we look for EU and Erasmus projects, our own publications, and university collaborations. And in this view, you get a little bit of understanding of the vastness of our operations as well. And I want to highlight that we cannot do this alone. And that's why we have built this network of universities and governments, schools, companies, and other partners, including parents as well as of educators and learners, because we cannot work in silos. But more to our products and focus services and products today. I want to talk about when it comes to school development, and accreditation is something that has really transformed the way we can also operate and added value to our customers and operators. It is a cornerstone of education quality within the education system, especially in Finland. It's a voluntary and non-governmental process that exemplifies excellence. So what does that in practice mean? Is there is a school or an organization that sees that there is something that we want to be in relation to Finnish education. We want to find something in the Finnish education system that we want to thrive for and tie our goals to, but we need help. And that's why we start this process with the organization or a school, where we focus on the best things that you're already doing, where we look at your goals, where do you want to stage yourself, and then we guide you through towards that in relation to Finnish education policies. This is a way for you to build global prestige as well, to share this message in your website, to share this with your network as well, and really showcase the fantastic work that you're already doing. You get an expert team to guide you and guide you in this process, and spar with you in different problems and issues that you might have in order to reach those goals. How this actually look like is an approximately 8 month to 1.5 year process, where we look at the really in depth about your current processes, including the materials that you use. We talk with the teachers, we talk with the school, and we look at where you are currently. In that, we are able to create this gap analysis of how you are representing some of the policies in Finland. How is the current situation looking like? And once this takes about 6 to 8 weeks, and our expert committee looks and reviews these documents, we are able to then start an on-site visit, where we visit your school for approximately 72 hours. We interview and talk with everybody involved, from learners to educators to leaders to parents, and make sure that everybody are buying in to these changes. And then we are able to create this entire 360 analysis of the wonderful things that we want to achieve together. And we support you in that journey. And it is not that there is an end point of something. It is just a continuous review that we continue the collaboration and the work together. But in short, it is to provide a confidence catalyst of the great things that you're already doing and highlighting those global prestige and provide expert guidance. Another service that we provide, one of the highlights, is this Finnish education tours. We have done this over 10 years, involved people from over 60 different countries to Finland to experience what is the education here firsthand, and multiple workshops as well. We don't only work with educators and leaders in schools, but also in education ministries and municipalities. So this is an entire experience to see what Finland is all about in education. Then when we go to further into school development, there are other opportunities than what we call SISU schools. And this is our trademark service that anybody willing and wanting to open a school, we are able to support them where it is based in the Finnish curriculum from K to 12 and designed by CCE Finland. This includes, for example, branding, business plan, customization, marketing services, and teacher training. And then when we're talking about Sisu and some of our products, Sisu box, and what Sisu really means is a very Finnish concept that it is difficult to translate because it means something that best describes as something or someone, an attitude of when everybody else stops of going for something. Somebody with Sisu continues and pursues. So we created a Sisu box for early childhood education, which gives the essential products and products to be able to teach about reading, writing, basic skills needed in the early childhood education, and giving the best tools to continue their journey to future. So there are just some examples here. At the core, our vision is to build a foundation for learning that will enable children to be lifelong learners and thrive in the dynamic world. And I think from this sense, it is a great way to give the floor to my colleague Nelly, also based here in Finland at the moment, to talk more about what is Finland all about, to get a little bit better understanding about it. But thank you so much for your time, and we are happy to tell you more if you have any questions. Over to you, Nelly.
Thank you, Joachim. I just want to make sure, Simran, did you have something to add after Joachim's speech?
Yeah, thank you, Nelly. No, it's perfectly well for you to go ahead. Joachim, thank you so much for explaining all of the offerings in detail. Yes, accreditation, Finland education tools, AI-enabled schools are at the center of it because that is what we foresee as a demand. We very proudly say that we are a research-based organization. And because we claim to be a research-based organization, we can also say that this is the need of the hour, and this is where the direction of education is going to take. So thank you, Joachim, for explaining all of those things in detail. You also spoke about Sisu franchisee. One more thing I would like to add is that we have something innovative called as Sisu Box, which is a preschool solution in a box, and which caters to all of these offerings are available, and we would love to talk to you more about this one-on-one once this webinar is done. We are looking forward to making appointments to come and visit your cities. If that's not possible, then we can make appointments online. And and we can get this going for your school, your institution, or even you as personally as an educator. So on this note, Nelly, the floor is yours to talk more about how has been your experience as a Finnish teacher and you visiting India and actually working with schools here. Over to you, Nelly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simran. And thank you for your great introduction to CCE, Joachim. It's really nice to continue after your words. So, hello, everyone. Good afternoon from sunny Helsinki. And my name is Nelly Louhivuori, and I'm the Pedagogical Director for CCE Finland. My background is in teaching, as Simran just said. I have been a teacher in Finland for several years and seen also that side from the Finnish school. So I've been there as a student, but also as a teacher, which has given me quite a broad understanding of what is going on in Finnish schools. And today I will tell you a little bit more about Finland and Finnish schools. I will show you 2 short videos and highlight a few aspects of our education system. But let's start with the short video. It's about Finnish school. Just a moment, I will just share my screen and then we can continue.
While one country put men on the moon, another introduced a school reform that changed a small nation's fate once and for all. That was us, Finland. Children living north of the Arctic Circle in Lapland, and those whose home is in the bustling capital city of Helsinki in the south, all take part in one of the world's best education systems, regardless of their social background or mother tongue. Children in Finland are all given equal learning opportunities and get to learn at their own pace. Finland ranks high in both equality and innovations. To be a teacher in Finland, you need a master's degree. Our teachers are well qualified to adopt the latest digital innovations and pedagogical approaches in their teaching. But most importantly, our world-class learning outcomes are achieved through the joy of learning. One small step for children, one giant leap for humankind.
So thank you. From this video, I would like to highlight what was said in the end of the video, that our goal in our school is to achieve the joy of learning. And what we try to do in our everyday life in schools is that we try to make the school a place where the students want to come and where they feel that they are seen and heard. And how to do this is that we actively take into account different needs and try to support the pupils individually. And we also emphasize their strengths. We try to teach the students to find their strengths. And one key point in Finnish schools is the collaboration and doing together. This includes also the cooperation among teachers, which for me, for example, it leads to joy for teaching. So sharing good and bad moments together and learning how to cooperate, it's something super important in our school. Then also that learning is not only for the academic skills, and we're not supposed to teach and study for school, but we're doing this also for learning for life. And I think that also makes school and learning more meaningful when the students are coming there to learn for life and learn skills, and not only to read and write. Of course, those are important skills that they also have to learn. Next, I will show you another video. It's about high school, Finnish high school, and how to teach multiliteracy skills in high school. So in Finnish school, we are not focusing only on academic skills, as I said, but we also have a great emphasis on skills. And especially in this changing world, we have to take into consideration the future skills, what our students will be needing for their future, and how to teach these kind of skills. So shortly, I will show you another video. There is a Finnish teacher explaining this skills teaching. He is speaking in Finnish, but there are subtitles for you to understand.
Monilukutaito on semmoinen kaikki oppiaineet kattava laaja termi, ja meillä ei ole sillä tavalla, että meillä olisi joku oppitunti, jonka aiheena on nyt sitten monilukutaito, vaan se sisältyy oikeastaan kaikkeen siihen opetukseen. No monilukutaito, tai jos ajatellaan sillä tavalla, että minkälainen on monilukutaitoinen opiskelija, niin opiskelija pystyy ajatellaan vaikka internetsivuja, niin ymmärtämään siitä, että minkälainen vaikka tieto on luotettavaa, miten sitä tietoa luetaan, hyödynnetään siinä oppiaineessa, opetuksessa, mutta myöskin omassa elämässä. Niin jos ajatellaan, että minkälainen niin kuin maailma nykyään on, niin meillähän on ihan hirveän paljon niin kuin dataa, meillä on ihan hirveän paljon erilaista tekstiä, kuvaa, videota. Ja nykymaailmassa ei riitä pelkästään se, että osataan lukea oppikirjaa, vaan pitää myöskin ymmärtää sitä ympäröivää maailmaa ja sitoa niitä oppiaineen ilmiöitä, käsitteitä, asioita kaikkeen siihen, mitä ympärillään näkee. Ja monesti opiskelijoitakin tulee semmoisia uusia ideoita, niin näyttää mulle jotain asioita, vaikka että pystyisikö tämmöisen tekemään tai onko tämä totta, niin sitten saattaa joskus vaikka kokeilla semmoista, että onnistuisiko tämmöinen asia. Ja ne on musta niin hirveän innostavia kokemuksia, koska no ensinnäkin se idea-ajatus tulee opiskelijoilta ja sitten saa vähän itsekin testata uutta. Ja jollain tavalla vielä sitoa se siihen oppiaineen opetukseen. Meillä on Suomessa korkeakoulutettuja opettajia, joilla on vahva pohja omasta oppiaineestaan ja sitten siitä opettamisesta, niin me pystytään pitkäjänteisesti kehittämään sitä omaa työtä ja pysymään niiden ajan ilmiöiden niin kuin tasalla. Mikä tässä on niin kuin parasta, niin ajattelen sillä tavalla, että jos opiskelija on tämmöinen monilukutaitoinen, niin sitten tämmöiset niin kuin tulevaisuustaidot on myöskin hyvät. Silloin selviää tässä koko ajan monimutkaisemmassa maailmassa.
So I think this teacher was explaining quite nicely that in this changing world, it's not only about reading and writing, but the students, they have to learn how to navigate, and they need also different skills with the internet and data that they are surrounded nowadays. They need also something else than just the basic academic skills for their future. Another thing that I want to tell you today is that I have hosted many international educators in Finland, and after spending time in Finnish schools, many of them say that if I ask them what have you learned from Finnish school, is that they have learned the concept of trust that we have in Finland. And this means that we have trust in our teachers. Teachers in Finland have the master's degree, and they really are experts of the pedagogy. And this trust towards the teachers it's a key concept. But at the same time, in Finnish schools, you can see the trust towards students. We trust the students, and we give them the active role in their learning and planning their schoolwork. And we trust that the learning happens even if we're not testing it all the time with the standardized tests. That this situation is happening in many countries around the world, but in Finland we don't believe in a standardized test. We believe in learning, and we trust the learning process. And I have been to India. I have worked with Indian teachers and parents, and this has been such an eye-opening experience for me, because to understand what is the everyday life for example, an Indian teacher, you have to talk with the teacher and you have to see the everyday life and to understand what are the challenges also that they are facing. And I have seen Indian parents demanding good education for their children. And of course, it's fair, because we all want our children to have the best education in the world. I think it's, as I said, I think it's only a fair thing. But at the same time, I've seen the teachers struggling in their work, because they might feel that they have to teach, for example, every chapter from the book, or otherwise the families, they are not happy about it, and they give negative feedback. So they feel pressured, they feel stressed, they don't feel that they have this freedom, even though they are the pedagogical experts in their work. And that's why I think that trust is something that we should also share with other countries, share with other schools in other countries, because I think that trust in teachers is a basic thing that we should have everywhere. The teacher should be able to decide the best materials, teaching methods, pedagogy for the students, because they are the experts of the learning of the students. They know their students the best and what kind of needs they have. And of course, teachers need to be supported in this role. And I know that it's possible. And with CCE, I also know that we can do this, and we can support the teachers and the schools. With CCE, our focus is in the students' active participation in schools and how to create this joyful learning that I mentioned before. And in this, as I said, we also support the schools and the teachers and also families, because also families need information about changes and new pedagogies. And if we want to make a change, we have to include the families as well. Today here, we have many educators from around the world, and it would be really an honor for us, on behalf of my team, CCE team, it would be our honor to connect with you later on and to also come to your campus to visit your school. And yes, I conclude my turn here, and I throw the ball back to Simran. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nelly, for that insightful brief about more from the teacher perspective. And it's great. I think the second video that you played was really nice to see how is the teacher's role. And yes, it is again, we educators along with teachers and schools need to work alongside parents to build that trust, saying that we have the best of the interest for the child and heart, to make sure that we are activating student agency. So to talk about, now is the time that I would like to talk about how we have implemented this in India and share some of the case studies, even though we have a lot, and you can find all of those informations on our website, under our blogs, and on our YouTube channel. But to make the best of this time, I would like to showcase a simple case study of a school that we have worked, and the kind of projects or the kind of implementation that I'm highlighting is across CCE Finland schools. It varies from how we can develop a learning space to develop a student's agency through project-based learning, and finally use these Finnish preschool in a box with students, and not to forget the social emotional learning that is getting more of importance in these days. So on this note, may I request for the presentation to be shared? And what we will see shortly in this presentation is what I want you to please concentrate on is that the attributes, the main attributes from our national education policy, and what are the main attributes of Finland education system. And of course, we do these 3 to 4 days workshop to bring in the synergy and make people understand. But what I want to show you here in the snapshot is what are the attributes of NEP. Nelly, if you could give us the attributes of NEP. So we have to focus on the core essential. One of the most important things is to develop critical thinking. The classes needs to be interactive, and the focus has to be on experiential learning. Now let's look at some of the key factors of Finnish education. They emphasize and take pride in teacher training. The heart of everything is student agency. They are more worried about the skills, as Nelly already showcased, rather than the content, and developing real-world connections. Now, even if the terminology is not saying 100% the same, the crux of the matter is the same. On the next slide, we can see how the synergies of NEP and Finnish education come to play. Now, these are the national goals for Finland, but let's look at it in a more broader and a global term. If you look at this, yeah, let's go back, Nelly, just one back. Yeah, so look at these kind of goals that are going around for thinking and learning, cultural competence and interaction, taking care of oneself and managing daily lives, multiliteracy, which again we saw from the video, ICT competence for the world of work, entrepreneurship, and participation and influence of building the sustainable future. And the main goals for these transversal competencies are knowledge, skills, values, attitudes, and will. Now, if we were to go to see the next slide, which is talking about NEP's national education policies, it is one and the same thing. It is reading through the same kind of structure: respect for diversity, equity and inclusion, community participation, use of technology, emphasizing the conceptual understanding, unique capabilities, recognizing that every student is important, critical thinking. And here is where we take you through in your school when we come and do the workshops or we are doing accreditations of what are the synergies. So what I want to say through this medium is that it is not different things that we are talking. And Finland education today is very well at that juncture, which can be implemented, which can be localized, because that is the core thing of what national education policy wants. In the next slide, we can see, let's look at one case study. How do we start about this? So we start about, of course, coming to your school. Either we are doing the accreditation, either we are doing school development programs, or we are doing teacher training programs. The next logical step is the real-time implementation. Once we are ready with the real-time implementation, only then we launch as a NEP or a Finnish model school. And here we invite the audience, the parents, the outside community to come and experience the Finnish education and the Finnish implementation. So let's have a quick look on the next slides. So this particular school, of course, started their journey, came to Finland via our Finland education tour. And after we did this, we did the creativity observation and we launched, Anneli, if you could go to the next slide, we launched as the Finnish school in Bangalore. And then we moved on to the next training programs. And one of the things that we start is, of course, for the leadership to understand what does it take to implement these NEP and Finnish model. And this is one of our most sought out course for the educators at the ownership level or at the principal or the vice principal levels. And this is postgraduate diploma in pedagogical leadership, PL101. And with this, I also want to show you the transformation. So in the next slide, we can see that as a real, so it is not courses for us, it is more of the implementation. So look at this traditional learning library and how it has been transformed into a model learning space, because PL101, this was the real implementation that happened in the school. The next slide, we will see how project-based learning was taken through entire K-12. And again, we could see that transformation in terms of activating student agencies. Grade 1 and 2 students were a part of this PBL and they designed their own classrooms. So you can see the before and after in My School, My Design project. And in the next, so that is 2 different classrooms for grade 1 and grade 2. And this was done through PBL. Of course, we have done several projects, but I just wanted to highlight these ones. Another program that we work on with K2 teachers is Early Childhood Education Diploma and Advanced Diploma. We also work extensively on teacher well-being, their happiness, self-care to creativity. And I want to now showcase some of the things that we have actually brought up by implementing these programs. One, in the next slide that you can see, is the NEP implementation sessions that we are doing with the teachers. In the next slide, you see the learning spaces that they have designed with the Sisu box, which is a Finnish preschool in a box. And you can see that this is where we were doing this experimental thing where we were bringing in the children to see how they take ownership of their learning. In the next slide is a short video of a child working with one of the Sisu box learning material.
Pick up the dice one by one and roll it. Yes, that's great. Wow, now we have got the pictures, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures we have got. So now, Tanush, will you help me to frame a story with these pictures?
Yes.
Go ahead.
There was a boy.
So this is just a very small example.
Then he was one to have a surprise from Santa. He fell asleep.
Wow.
Then he woke up and found a parachute. Then he went to beach. Then he enjoyed on the beach.
Fantastic.
So this is again the learning which is happening beyond the classroom, beyond the only the textbooks and the rote learning. So here that you've seen that the teachers have not only built the learning stations, but they have also making sure that the children are taking the center of their learning, and it also increases their vocabulary, their confidence, and the way they present what they have learned. The next I wanted to showcase is our flagship project, which actually started as a project but turned out to a movement, which is Independent Country, Independent Me, which is again an essential part of SCL. Again, this connects back to the Finnish transversal competencies and the NEP, where they are talking about the child to be independent and a global citizen. So a very short video to just see how the ICIM has been implemented.
Well, my time to prepare a healthy and easy snack and to sew a button all by myself. It has also helped me excel in my academics. Thank you.
Really happy to see that kind of a transformation in her. We also strongly believe that learning such skills at a very young age is really essential to become a responsible citizen in future. We thank the respected principal and teachers of the Silicon City Academy to give equal importance to the personality development programs such as Independent Country, Independent Me.
Now after this ICM project only, I'm doing everything on my own self. Like bathing on my own self, putting shoes on my own self, socks on my own self, and putting dresses on my own self.
Because after this project, my son is doing all his work. He is doing himself only.
This ICIM project has helped me do all my tasks very independently. Now I can wash my vessels after food and can also cook the whole meal for my family. This is a drastic change in me, which makes me really happy. Thank you. Independent country, independent me.
So this was a brief glimpse of what we have done as projects and implementation. And again, this become an integral part, whether we are doing CCE Finland accreditation, we are doing teacher training programs, or we are doing a complete school development program. So here is our coordinate. Here you can see a QR code, and if you can kindly take a note of this and make an appointment with us, we're more than happy to see you online, and as well as visit. So the tentative dates that we are visiting these three cities, which is Chennai, Goa, and Mumbai, are between June and July. Maybe the last appointment availability is of 15th of July. So do connect with us. We will be more than happy to come and meet you and your team, and to see what we can contribute in taking this forward in your school, in your campus. So with this, I want to thank all our audience members who have been with us and have been a part of our webinar. Thank you very much. I thank my CCE Finland team, Nelly, Joachim, and all the others who have been instrumental in making this webinar a success. We will definitely take questions for the participants who are with us on the Zoom. We can stop the live right now, and yes, and we will take questions one by one once we have thanked all our audience who have joined us on YouTube, on LinkedIn. Thank you once again. And my colleagues will send more links on both the channels so that you can make sure that you have all the information that you need. Thank you once again. And this is Simran Balani signing off. Have a pleasant evening, a pleasant weekend ahead, and take care of yourselves. Thank you so much.